Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearl's Paranormal TV show. So, tonight we are telling you more about dreams, and we have a special from Kathy CARLSON. Let's bring in the team now. Hello, everybody. And my volume's on my phone. I'm trying to get it down. So tonight, okay, so let me get them in and then I get this down. The heartbeat of the South and every beat of my heart. My son Tim Harrington. Hey Tim.
Hey, Mom, how's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, my phone. Okay, I think I finally got it down. All
Yeah.
right, let's get Kathy CARLSON in here so she can have a laugh at me in this phone. All right, there
Okay.
she is, y'all. Hi,
Hi,
Kathy.
how you
Hey, Kathy.
doing?
Welcome.
Thank
Hey.
you.
Happy to see you tonight.
The same. Everyone's been busy.
I know, and
Yeah.
and we it's September and it's hot
Yeah.
here
Oh
in
yeah,
Memphis. Is it hot there in in New Mexico?
yeah, but not as bad as some places right now. Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
only
well,
in
Yeah.
you
the
know,
80s,
Yeah.
so
We're
it's
in the
not too
90
bad.
oh
plus.
God, you're all in the 80s. That's not fair.
I know.
we won't
Sorry.
we won't get to the 80s until Monday. It's terrible.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
I'm
I
sorry.
yeah, kind of tired of this hot weather right now. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But then, you know
Definitely.
what? I guess I shan't complain
Mhm.
because when we're gonna have a really long, terrible, sleety, rainy, snowy winter in the south
Yeah.
uh, this year, this winter coming up. So y'all ask me how I know. I'm glad you asked because y'all know
Okay.
y'all know that I have the gift and I can see some things in the future pertaining to the ways
Mm-hmm.
of the world. I can't ever see what the
Mm-hmm.
Powerball jackpot numbers are. I can't even see what the cash
Oh,
free
darn
numbers
it!
are. And you know
I
what?
was going to ask you.
That's why I don't play them. I don't play that lottery stuff because I can't see it myself. But you know, when God gives you a gift like this, they say that you're not supposed to use it for personal gain. He doesn't give it to you to help
Mm-hmm.
yourself. He gives it to you to help others, and to help the people of the world and the world itself. So I guess that's why I can never see them. But yeah, for a change this
Mm-hmm.
winter, the winter for the Tennessee states, south, what we call the southeast region, is going to be experiencing harsh winter, and this winter, and it's going to be a long winter. So I can tell everybody now, start getting your battery operated heaters, stock up on your batteries, get your generator if you can. Go ahead and do that because we're going to have lots of rain, sleet, and snow.
Mm.
So, some like we haven't seen before in a long time.
That
So,
sucks.
yeah, so I'm trying to slowly prepare. I got my generator, I got my battery operated heater. Now I got to stock up on batteries though, just in case. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I also have my phone charger pack to buy you one of those, y'all, and because y'all know how it is here in Memphis with this
Yeah.
utility company, and they saying it's going to take us 5 years to get everything straightened out. So don't think that we're going to have an improvement this winter.
No, not by a long shot.
We're not going to. All
Mm-mm.
right, so let's take a break, and when we come back, who's going to be on deck first?
I guess I'll jump out there.
All right, Tim. I
I
was
can't.
hoping you said,
You can.
yeah.
You want to
Kathy
go?
went.
Did Tim say yes?
I mean, you can go.
Hmm?
Do I mean?
No,
Do
no.
you?
If you volunteered, that's fine.
Okay.
If you volunteered, you go first.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was.
That's the
I
way I
was
look
kind of.
at it.
I was kind of hoping Tim would come out there first this time because Kathy, you broke out
That
the
would be
first
good.
Oh,
last week.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
All
fine.
right, so we're gonna take a break. We'll come back. You guys go ahead and share the show. We got some interesting topics for you tonight.
Mhm.
I one in particular I'm going to be sharing about dreams, continuation from what we did last week, but this time it's going to really interest you, okay? So stay tuned, Sherry. Come on back.
Ooh, we're firing up the Chewy app. Can't say no to these prices. Clumping litter? Resounding yes. Salmon pate? Love that for me. Essentials? Check. Ooh, we have enough to splurge on catnip toys. We did it. I feel so accomplished. Pet me, please. Okay, that's enough. Now back to me time. Love you.
Great prices, happy pets. Chewy. Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I feel free to bare my skin thanks to Sky Rizzy. I'm celebrating my clearer skin my way. With Sky Rizzy, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. In another study, most people had 90% clearer skin even at 5 years. And Sky Rizzy is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to. Thanks to clearer skin with Sky Rizzy, this is my moment. There's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Now's the time. Ask your doctor about Sky Rizzy, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
To 50 years with my best friend and my soulmate.
The quicker picker-upper. When you gotta get it done, one sheet is all you need. And Bounty is 50% more absorbent, so you can use less and get the job done with one.
You've got a bit of your face on your face.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Here's a thread. The power to connect is the power to change. Connect 2 dots and change the whole plot. Connect one day and change a long week. Connect to one thought and change what you speak. Connecting these hearts, we change their flow, the plan, the path, the course, route, and road. Connect with uncertainty and change what we know. The plots that unfold,
The seeds that we grow.
connect and change what you want. What do you want?
What do you want?
¿Qué es lo que quieres? Find it and lose it again. Don't like the hue? Change the color. Scared of the storms? Change their thunder. Don't share the dream? Dream another. Connect and change. The phase, a place, the dance, the towns, the now, your vow, the news, the views, the fight, the night, the light. Anything you like.
Connect.
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 Connect. Connect and change. Connecting changes everything. AT&T.
Okay, we have about a 20-second delay
Yeah, that's a big one.
between the studio and that was a big one. They looks like they get bigger and bigger down it, longer and longer. But anyhow, yeah, that's why I have to keep my phone on so I can see just how far in advance Facebook is from the studio, because I don't understand how the Facebook can get it first before the studio even puts it out there. You know, that's what's weird, man.
Yeah.
I would understand if it was vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right, Tim, you're on deck.
All right, look, I'm gonna open the door a little bit on this. I don't want to go too deep in depth with it, but I do want to.
Yeah.
I want to talk about alien abduction.
Alien abduction, yay!
The big, The victims are often called abductees.
Yeah.
Um, we've heard about people being abducted, not only being abducted. Let me back up a little bit. Let's try to find out what an abduction is. Now, my definition of an abduction is being taken into a spaceship or shuttle against one's will. I haven't heard any stories of anybody going willingly. I could be wrong, but I ain't there yet.
Yeah.
Um, we've heard different stories about people saying that they have been abducted. They've been
Hmm.
abducted on roads, from the inside of their house, out in camping areas. Um, we've heard 1,000 stories on one hand. Um, then on the other hand, society says if it can't be scientifically explained or proven, it's not real. So is this a real thing or is this psychological?
Good question. Kathy, you got any feedback on that question?
Well, since I actually had an experience like that and it was in my house, I would have to say it was real because
All
of the
right.
way everyone everyone was put in a trance in my house,
Yeah.
and I couldn't wake anyone up. So I knew it was an individual experience. It wasn't just meant for the whole family, but in
Really?
some cases I've heard of couples being abducted and things like that,
Hmm.
but in my case it was just meant for me. Probably because my ex-husband didn't believe in that kind of thing. I think you have to kind of somewhat be somewhat of a believer, um, and
Yeah.
open-minded. I don't think they want to deal with people that aren't.
Can you recall what age bracket you were at?
Yeah, I was in my early 30s or
Oh,
Hmm.
just third, maybe no, actually I was even younger. I was like in my late 20s because my daughter was
Mm.
about 4 years old and born in 1983. So, yeah.
okay. So
Hmm.
everybody else in your house was put in a trance, but you were the only one that was awake and aware.
Yeah,
Wow.
I
Mm.
tried to wake everyone up. I even shook my ex-husband up, and he normally was a light sleeper,
Right.
and he
Hmm.
wouldn't wake up for anything. Mhm.
But
And I
Tim, you
felt
were
all
the
alone.
same.
That was the
Yeah,
only fun,
I know you
experience.
did. Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tim, you were the same way when your Yonda and I, your stepsister,
I,
my stepsister, and I saw the
yeah,
spacecraft, the alien spaceship. We tried to wake you up to show it to
I,
you.
I do
He
remember
was
the
he was
story.
eight. He was 8 years old, Kathy, and we shook and shook and shook. We could not wake that boy up for anything. And Yonda is really heavy-handed, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, he is.
And she did not wake up at all. Well, hello, Mary and Michigan.
Hey,
How are
Mary.
you?
Hi.
And hello, Ernestine from Michigan. Thank you for joining us. I love your new profile shot, Ernestine and Mary. Yours
It's pretty.
always look pretty with the stars. You said, yeah, you keep the one with the stars, Mary. I love that one. All right. But yeah, so I believe that it's definitely real. And like you say, Kathy, I don't think they take anyone that is not subject to being taken subconsciously because they say the same thing about hypnotism. They say that a hypnotist cannot hypnotize you if you're subconsciously not willing to be hypnotized, you know. So I
Which
guess
is
that,
a good thing. Which is a great
yeah.
thing because you don't want people being hypnotized that can't be,
Hi,
don't want to
hi,
be, or can't be.
yeah. Hi, Sandra and
You don't want,
Dwayne.
yeah, you want.
So, um, they came to you, or you came to them after everybody was asleep. How did that go?
Yeah, because I think I told you that story that I was coming home from college. I just taken exams and I was joking with the UFO that was zooming up and down all over the sky,
Yeah,
in light form. And
right.
I said,
Mm-hmm.
if you're real, you'll follow me home and you'll appear right above the Anfield pie restaurant, which was right across the street from my house. And I was just
Right.
joking with him. I said,
So
"Yeah,
you actually
had a
invited
long night
them.
here."
Yeah, you invited
Yeah,
them.
I invited them, so I think it had. Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Be willing.
And they showed up.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They showed up. Yep. Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know you.
So
Well, okay, yeah. That's amazing.
You have
That's
to be open to it. Yeah. Because, of course, there's still people that don't believe in it, in extraterrestrial life or any other life. But I mean, when you common sense would tell someone, listen, if you are a life form and it's only Earth, we're only one planet, when there are thousands of other planets out there in a whole big old universe that we cannot even see and cannot even get to based on our technology yet, that why would we be the only life form? I mean, that's just
yeah,
common sense thinking, right?
yeah. I think we have what,
yes.
9 planets, if I remember correctly. Is it 9 planets?
Well, we only have nine that we can see.
Right, right.
Yeah, there's only nine that we can see, and they took Pluto out of it, so they that left eight. They didn't want to count Pluto as a planet. They did that some years back. Do you remember that, Kathy? That they took Pluto
Yeah, because
out.
I went to the observatory where they actually found it in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Uh
That's where
huh.
Oh,
they actually found Pluto.
Yeah.
And we were
Yeah.
disappointed when it was taken off the planet list. But I think now they might have gone back to calling it a planet, because last thing I read, they called it a planet again. So I'm not sure. We'll have to
Mm-hmm.
see. Read up on it.
yeah, yeah. Not to take away from what the original subject was, but something just popped in my head, and I was like, yeah, yeah. I believe you might be right on that, and I believe that we got the cloning pattern from them. The technology to
Hmm.
clone the pattern that it takes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at us year to date, I think all the animals are cloned now, even the ones that we're eating. But just throwing it in there, I could be wrong.
Well, I tell you,
We
I
were
have to.
talking.
I have to say,
Go
I don't know too much about the cloning process of
ahead.
things. So I can't really expound on
Right,
anything that I don't know. But
right.
I do know that there is such a thing as cloning, and you know, they um, there are stories about people, experiments going on to
Yeah,
try to clone people. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if it was going on. I really wouldn't. The thing about that is, though, one thing I don't have to worry about it because I know nobody wants to be me, and I know I don't have enough money to want to be anybody else. And
okay,
I know
okay.
I know that it costs a lot of money to do something like that.
Right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one way to look at it. Most definitely.
So
Most
that's
definitely.
why. So that's something now. I don't even store that in my short term memory. Definitely not
Right.
anything I want to put in my long term memory. But that
Got
was good. That was good topic abduction, Tim. To answer your question, original question, yes, I believe it's true, and I think there are a lot of people that believe it's true, but they just don't want to say they believe it.
gotcha.
A lot of times people just don't say what they believe in because they don't want to get into an argument with somebody that they are around that don't believe in such things, and to avoid an argument.
Right.
Because when people, the,
Hmm.
the thing about beliefs, no matter whether they are cultural, biblical, whatever, the political people, they are really passionate about their beliefs, and they can get into a real hullabaloo state of
Yeah.
mind about it, and
Yeah,
you want to argue you down and then want to lose friendship with you and
yeah.
everything.
Well, you know that politics and religion, they say, are the two things you should never discuss amongst friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I used to think that, but now, of course, because those are two things that I strongly believe in,
Yeah.
I will speak it and talk about it. But if somebody wants to just challenge me on it, then I know, I'm like, is it Johnny Cash? I know when to fold and I know when to hold. I'll just go on and change the subject, right? To avoid from getting
Mm-hmm.
into an argument and
Yeah.
losing a friendship.
Yeah. I think it's got. Go ahead.
If at all possible. That's all I was adding. If at
Oh
all
yeah.
possible.
Yeah, I believe over the past years and whatnot, it's got a little bit more easier for people to converse about it. Um,
Yeah.
I can remember a time when those was fighting words. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it still is for some people.
yeah. You're right.
Just not us.
Hmm.
All right, so when we come up, we're gonna stop there and come up next. Uh Kathy, do you want to do it or you want me to go?
You can go. Why don't you go, Emily? I'll go
All
last.
right.
It's okay.
All right, I will.
I'll go last. It's okay.
Okay, so up next, dreams. Have you all ever dreamed about somebody dead and you know that they're dead? I mean, these are people that you knew that are dead. Some have been dead a long, long time, and some could have recently died. And you wonder, why am I dreaming about this person? Well, I'm going to tell you all about that. So make sure you share the show if you know somebody that's been going through or have ever spoken to you about dreaming about somebody who has passed away. Tell them to tune in because they'll want to hear this. Share the show. We'll be back, y'all. Don't go away.
So, are you going to Amy's wedding?
I don't have the money.
Yeah, you do. Who are you? I'm you from the future. And I just got paid.
And I'm Dave. I can get you up to $500 of your future money now.
Up to $500 instantly?
Instantly.
That's amazing. Oh, who's he?
Oh, this is Paolo. We met at the reception. Hi.
Hola. Hello. Paolo.
That's me.
Download Dave and get up to $500 instantly.
Need to get your windshield fixed? SafeLight makes it easy. You can schedule it in just a few clicks, and we'll come to you with a replacement you can trust.
It's great.
That service on your time. Schedule now.
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
I am Conor McGregor, multiple weight MMA champion. I'm a fighter and I've been through many battles in the octagon. Many consider my fights in the octagon heroic, but the real life heroes are those men and women who fight to protect us every day. The real life fighters, the real life heroes, are the firefighters and police officers. These first responders are true heroes because these brave men and women put themselves in the line of danger every single day protecting us all. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation ensures that first responders from fire, EMS and police departments who are killed in the line of duty with young children have a home without the burden of a mortgage. They are my heroes. They need our help today. I'd like to ask you to join me in donating $11 a month to support their efforts. Your $11 a month honours and supports our first responders. Please call now at 1-844-BRAVEST or visit tunneltotowers.org.
Welcome to the Shack 12-Week Shred. My name is Rock Shabazz, and I'm here to take you through the same program that I made for this guy right here.
This program is without a doubt a huge reason why I was able to get fit and stay fit. If you put in the work and stay consistent, you just might be able to keep up. It's time for you to get to work.
Okay. We caught you singing out there. That's all right.
I was home and waiting on the delay.
But I turned it off. I saw it. We were back on Facebook. But I did get a note from the studio that was in my news feed this morning when I went in to load the billboard in and make the link for us to come in, it said that there's some type of chrominum bug that's going on in broadcasting. I don't know what the heck a chrominum bug is, but I think that's why we're having such a delayed response tonight. And because on my end here in the studio, I mean, the commercials are really, really behind. So hopefully by tomorrow night when we do our politics show, they would have fixed that bug or gotten rid of it. Okay, so let's talk about dreams. Yeah. So lately I've been dreaming about dead people. And this has been going on for at least 2 months. Different ones. Some dead people that's been dead for more than 30 years. For instance, my mother. Actually, yeah, about my mother's been dead. She died in 89, so I don't know how many years that is, just off the top of my head, but it's a lot of years.
Okay.
I dreamed about my aunt for the first time. She passed away, I believe it was like the year 1999 or so, so that's been some years. And so, I was just wondering why I was dreaming about these dead people constantly just on a roll, The first thing you think about is this. Am I getting ready to die too? Right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that would be a question that you want to ask yourself. And that's what I kept asking myself. I'm like, oh no, that cannot be the answer. I have got to get back to my dream researches and go to my sources and find out.
Yeah.
So I don't have to pull out my old dream books, Tim, like years ago, before technology. One of my favorite sites, y'all, and y'all can go here. I want to share with y'all. It's called the speakingtree.in. Speakingtree.in. Okay. And here it talks about the psychological reasons maybe behind dreaming of dead people. It says most dreams about dead people are subconscious in mind. We were just talking about the subconsciousness of how aliens will visit you freely,
right?
Because they can sense it in your subconscious, as well as hypnotists can be able to hypnotize you because it's available to them in your subconscious. The dreams work pretty much the same way. And it said that dreams about dead people are a manifestation or our personal feelings of guilt, sorrow, or repentance.
Oh.
And it says sometimes in cases of unnatural deaths, like when people die untimely, a sudden death,
yeah,
or in cases where they were not able to receive the last rites. When it comes to Catholics, they believe in giving the last rites just before the person actually leaves of the deceased. In case the last rites had not been conducted according to some rituals, and other cultures have different last rite rituals as well. But seeing a dead person in the dreams could indicate to this particular culture, if this person did not receive the last rites, that they are seeking closure, that their spirit is seeking closure, And, I think about that a lot of times because now both my mother and my aunt died. I had two aunts that passed away, but my last aunt passed away. She died. To me, it was suddenly, because I didn't realize, not to my knowledge, she had been sick. And I knew my mother was sickly, but she wasn't supposed to have been that sick,
Yeah.
And my first aunt that passed away, hers could be expected because she was in a nursing home for 12 years, So They say that these, in cases like this, when there are untimely deaths or unnatural deaths, like people die in car crashes or airplane crashes, um, or like 9/11,
Yeah.
that these spirits are seeking closure, and that, and why they come to us, I don't know. But a spiritual, that's a psychological standpoint of that. Tim, I think you wanted to say something about the psychological viewpoint on that. Did you?
Right. I just want to kind of touch bases on it. Because here's the thing: the question to me, I believe, is psychological. If you remember last week, we were talking about traveling to different dimensions and whatnot, portals and what have you. If you believe in the chakras, I believe they have 7 chakras. The crown chakra is the highest level. Is that correct? Are you familiar with the chakras, Kat?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I am. Yeah, it is the top,
Right.
yeah. Hmm.
Right. So are we telepathically making these journeys or trips or however you want to word it?
Mm-hmm. To
Are
visit
we,
them?
yeah, are we psychologically doing it or are we physiologically doing it?
Well, it could be. Go ahead, Kath.
I think it could be both in some
Think it could be both?
cases.
Okay.
Yeah, I think sometimes you can connect psychologically because you miss that person, and
Hmm.
then something is triggered, maybe even triggered during the day that you don't even realize refers to them. And then the second case is that you do, when you go into your dream state, you actually go to the fourth dimension. So you do go to that higher level,
Oh.
and you can more easily communicate with them, and they can more easily communicate with you. And you
Oh.
can set
Mm-hmm.
intentions before you sleep. If you set
Yeah, you
intentions
can.
before then things can happen. Like if you say, okay, I want to connect, with my ancestors, or I want to connect with the galactics, or whatever you want to say,
That's
it
true.
will bring you
That's true.
closer in your state. Because you
Yeah.
spoke just before you leave into your dream state. That's when you do it. That's when it has the most effect.
Oh.
Yeah, you actually can control your dreams if you are a dreamer. Now,
Mhm.
some people don't dream, so therefore they won't be able to control your dreams because you can't dream. But the world has always been fascinated about dreams, and dreams are like a window into another world. And so we do actually go into those dimensions. And it says
See,
that while some dreams do not always have hidden meanings, most dreams can be interpreted a lot of ways. They're often a manifestation of our souls, and they can predict many things about our character too. Tim, you had a question?
no, I was just thinking, I don't dream a lot because I think majorly because some of the medication that I take. However, my
Mm-hmm.
zodiac sign is Pisces, and we are
Mm-hmm.
considered as dreamers. So it
Yeah.
was, yeah, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah, well, you're military, so you're on medication from military that
yeah,
you have to take
yeah,
so that you don't have the military flashbacks.
right,
So that,
right,
you're exempt from dreams, not by
yeah,
your choosing.
right, right, right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, but I
So
was
what?
just, go ahead.
No, but you was what?
No, no, you were just saying that we can sometimes control our dreams, or
Yeah, yeah, you can.
mhm,
I've done it many times. Like if I start having a nightmare, I'll tell myself in my dream, "This is a nightmare. I'm not dreaming this. This is not going to happen." And I
mhm,
just go on to dream something else.
mhm,
I don't even have to wake up. I just tell myself in my dream. I said,
wow,
I do. I said,
Sometimes,
I said, this is not happening. No, no, this is not going to happen. And I just settle down in my sleep and go back to my normal state until I get to my REM sleep again. Um, yeah, I just refuse to accept it, while I'm my
Well,
subconscious. Go ahead, Kathy.
there's there's one other thing you can do. You can actually change because you know it's a dream, you can get
Mhm.
more like advance one more step up, and you can actually change the outcome of your dream. That's what I
Yeah.
do sometimes.
Really?
Oh,
I've done
you
sometimes.
go the hard way.
While
You go the she go the hard way
yeah.
around. I take the easy way out. I just say when it starts to be something unpleasant, I just go no, 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 this is not happening. No, I'm not having this. So and I just go
Okay.
on something and it does and I stop right there dead in my tracks. You know.
Wow.
Now let's look at the spiritual factors of dreaming
Okay.
about dead people. Apart from the facts stated above, there could be spiritual reasons for seeing dead people in dreams too. The first is that sometimes people die in an untimely death, referring back to what we was talking about, and they were unable to fulfill some wishes that they had, and so they try to contact us for help. And in rare cases, especially in cases of murder, the deceased person wants to try to extract revenge, and so they contact you to try to let you know that they were murdered, and they want you to try to figure it out and get justice for them. So that's kind of like the spiritual side of it. But in all, they say there's no cause for worry when you dream about dead people because mostly dreams about dead people are no cause of worry. In more cases than one, such dreams simply mean that the deceased are trying to remember you. All right. So
Yeah.
let's say,
Yeah.
uh-huh. Let's
But you
say,
know,
yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead, Tim.
No, no,
No,
go
you
ahead.
go ahead. Let's
No,
say if.
when you brought that up, it made me think of the movie The Sixth Sense.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember who's in it, but the little boy in it, he was a star in it, and he
I
saw
see
dead
dead
people.
people. I
Yeah,
know. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And the thing about it is, they all wanted something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And it says here that if one of the dreams occur to you, one of these dreams occur to you of this nature, you should simply express gratitude for meeting them in dreams and move on. Say,
Okay.
and move on. Ernestine say great information. Yeah, no need to worry. Doesn't mean you're going to die, that they're calling you to your grave or that they're calling you to be with them.
Yeah.
No, they're not. They say that they're just trying to remember you and just be grateful that you had a chance to meet them and see them again and move on.
I think I want that one.
Yep.
Kathy, you got some big news. What
Yeah.
is it?
Well, all of a sudden, all around the world, these fairy rings are showing up. And what's so
Uh-oh.
interesting is, the major publications are covering it now, like the New York Times and
Mhm.
scientific publications. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, so want me to explain what a fairy
Yeah.
ring is? And this is on
Yeah.
Wikipedia
Yeah.
Of course. Our
because
audience
they
don't
go
know, and
by
I don't know. I don't know either. Are you talking about crop circles?
yeah.
Oh, okay. I know what crop
No,
circles
they're
are.
they're
They're not crop circles,
can
are they?
be they can be no, but they can be as large as 33 feet in diameter. They can be that
Oh,
large. But okay, I'll
okay.
explain.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
A fairy ring is also known as a fairy circle. It can be called an elf ring or a pixie ring. It's a naturally occurring ring. And a lot of times they say it's can be found around mushrooms, which is
Mm.
true. But I've actually found one and photographed it in Sedona. And there was actually, we photographed fairies above it. And it was really unique. I'll have to share that sometime. They were all wearing white habits like the nuns do, like in the Flying Nun. They look no, nun, like a nun. Like they were wearing these the flying nuns. They look like that. They were going around like this in a circle. And I actually have a photograph. So we didn't put it in our first book because we didn't want to freak people out, too much. But we have showed it in our live seminars because we don't include everything in our books. But anyway, so getting back to that, we found ours in like the forest area, but it was on a hill and it was grassy. So they can be found in grasslands or rangelands. And they're also detectable by fungal spore pods. And they're in rings or arcs. And they can be in dead grass. And they can grow over 10 meters or 33 feet in length. And they're subject to much folklore and myth. And worldwide, a lot of them are found in Western Europe. And they're mysterious. And sometimes they've been linked with witches and the devil and bad luck. But at other times, they can give you good luck. See how that can work? Yeah. One person's passion can be another person's, demise, But it depends, I guess, what you really think in your head, whether you believe it's a good omen or a bad omen, I believe.
Right.
So do you want to know where some of these can be found? Yeah. They can be found in 15 countries and 263 different sites.
Wow,
so in one article, it talked about Africa. Yeah, talked about Africa in the Central and Western Australia, which is no surprise, because we've got all that land in the outback. Also, the Sahara Desert, Ireland, of course. UK,
definitely Ireland.
But there's a lot of.
I would say definitely.
Because they really believe that. To stay away from fairy circles. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Because they're sacred. They're sacred. They're sacred, And they also believe that if you have a tree standing alone in a pasture, that's a fairy tree. Don't cut it down, because if you cut it down, you're going to have bad luck for a long time.
Wow. Well, that is kind of weird, and that one tree would be in a big pasture. I could see the I could see the reality in that, and it's kind of like the life tree that they show. They use this tree of life a lot in African logos.
Yes.
And the tree out there in the desert grassy area, just a tree of life, single tree, and the rest is just isolated, So I think you've seen that logo a lot, lots of different things, So wow, so fairy circles.
Well, see,
go ahead.
Yeah. But they're very, trees can be really ancient. Like the Bodhi trees. There was a bookshop in LA called Bodhi, and in Hawaii and different places.
Chinese, Chinese trees, right? The Bodhis, are they Chinese? Bodhi tree, are they Chinese heritage?
I think that's a different one where they call, they have it in like, it's small, it's miniature, right? Bonsai. Tree,
bonsai, the small.
But this is a Bodhi.
Okay.
So, anyway, can I just tell you a real quick thing about fairy forts?
Yeah.
Forts, because they're also fairy forts.
Okay.
And they're more common in Ireland, but they're referred to as an earth mound. And see, they're not necessarily having to do with mushrooms. as the other ones were.
Yeah.
And so all the pictures, they look like crop circles in a way, all over the land. I mean, they're everywhere now, popping up. But they say they're referred to as an earthen mound, and are the remains of stone circles, ring forts, hill forts, and other prehistoric dwellings. So anytime there was a prehistoric dwelling somewhere, that's going to have, a really intense sacred energy, of course. And because a lot of the buildings weren't durable, so they fell apart into ruin. So, they are associated again with fairies or other supposed supernatural entities. So I got some of the in Wikipedia, and then New York Times Popular Science just came out. But all of a sudden you see one article come out, and all of a sudden everybody's starting to publish it. So that's why people are getting more open-minded now.
Right.
Yeah.
One of my questions, because that was one of my questions that I had that you mentioned towards the end. I'm thinking fairies are earthbound. Do they have any relationship with the extraterrestrials, or that's totally separate?
No, I believe that they can make the extraterrestrials can be smaller, like what they're showing in Mexico City right now, like the small ETs. So, and I believe that fairies can be all sizes. They can be really minute, or they could be human size, or they could be like only 2 or 3 feet tall. We photographed a lot of different sizes. So, but I can say that the ETs get mixed in with the nature spirits and the fairies and all of that, and the fairy groupings and the little people. They all mix in together. We take photos,
Gotcha.
Yeah. Tim, you remember that series? That vampire series about blood something where the girl was a fairy? What's the name of it? The series.
Oh man,
I couldn't think. I know the word blood is in it, but
not the Teenage Witch, not Sabrina. No, that's a vampire one. Okay.
This come out in like 2018 or 19.
Yeah.
And it's something blood. It's a series. I think it has like 2 or 3 seasons, maybe 4. And the vampires, it was something about her smell. You know how vampires supposedly can smell your blood.
Yeah.
But when they smelled her blood, it was like no blood they had ever smelled before.
Right.
They didn't know what she was. What they said, what kind of creature are you? And she was, because she would like talk to the vampires. She wasn't really afraid of them, And it turned out as the season went on that we found out that she was actually a born fairy.
Yeah.
Family. Her family ancestors were fairies, and she had fairy blood. So. And she was human sized.
Well, see, the Druids practiced a lot of fairy magic
all
of that.
Druids.
So a lot of these
the Druids, Tim?
The who?
The Druids. Britannica. Britannica. Remember Britannica? The Druids. They have all the markings on their face and paint themselves. Did you see Britannica?
I did not.
Oh, well, you need to watch Britannica. You can learn all about the Druids. But they also was in they were also present in Ragnar's what's the name of the Ragnar series?
The Viking.
Viking, yeah. They were also present in the Viking story, but you need to watch Britannica. And you can learn a lot about the Druids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I'm related. I'm related to Druid kings and queens. I'm related.
Are you really?
I traced.
Oh my goodness!
History all the way back.
Oh wow! Well, you've got some awesome powers. No wonder everybody's after you.
No, I have used them on occasion when I need.
You got some awesome powers.
Can I tell you? Oh yeah.
They want your powers, Kathy.
But I can tell maybe the ETs want them too, but I'm keeping them to myself.
That's right.
But anyway, but I want to tell Tim that he asked a really good question about fairies. They were forced to go underground, the Irish people believe. And they also have fairy troops that march back into the ground because there was a big war that happened in Ireland. And and when you go, if you go to a museum, I went to the Leprechaun Museum. They show where all the fairy wars happened. They show on a map, and I believe that. I seriously believe that. But they're called the Tutha De Danann. It's Tuatha, and then a separate word DE, and then DANANN. And they're actually fairy troops, and they had a king and queen. They had royalty. They had everything. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I believe it all because they call them fairy tales, but they're really people's histories. They're just stories of another culture and of another type of being. They're really not fairy tales. They're all true. Those are their stories. Our whole life are stories. No matter what culture we come from, no matter what lineage we come from, our whole lives are stories, and so were those that lived before us.
Yeah.
Their whole lives were stories, so they're not fairy tales. They're like Kathy say, they're just truths from fairies. They're fairy truths. They're stories of their lives.
I can believe that.
And one quick thing, because religion didn't agree with what they did, they called them pagans, and they destroyed a lot of Druid sites, and they killed a lot of Druid leaders, and they didn't harm anybody. They just worked with herbs and nature.
Yeah,
so
the Romans,
we might need to get back to that.
The Romans killed out a lot of the Druids because they the Druids knew how to cast the different spells on the Romans to keep them out of their territory and off their lands,
to protect them.
To protect their lands and their people. And so therefore they saw them as enemies, and then they destroyed a lot of them because they wanted the land. When the Romans when Caesar set out to gain territory, he stole so much territory and killed out so many different tribes and cultures of peoples. It was ridiculous, because he wanted. During that time, when Julius Caesar was living, Rome was considered the whole wide world because they invaded east, they invaded west, north, south, everywhere, just to make it Roman territory. Even in Egypt, when they went after Cleopatra, and Julius Caesar went after her, and he ended up falling in love with her and having a child by her, and then they tried to kill the child. So. It's just because Cleopatra was very smart. She wanted to get her some leverage. So she got pregnant by him and had a baby because she wanted to keep that partnership with Rome and keep Rome have some leverage over Julius Caesar.
That's one way of doing it.
But then what happened was when the Senate slaughtered and assassinated Julius Caesar. Yeah. Because not totally because of that, but that and some other things, then she had lost her leverage. Then so then she hooked up with this other guy that went over there, and then they ended up supposedly committing suicide together. But I never believed that part of that story.
There you go.
They didn't commit suicide. They either killed them.
Right.
Or they got away, and they probably got away and just didn't want to say they got away. They want the world to know that they got away, Well, this has been a tremendous, amazing story.
Yes.
Wow. Show tonight, we just learned so much. especially about the fairies, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and the fairy circles. That's just awesome, And why do you think they make those circles, Kathy? And I'll let that be my last question.
Well, when they dance, when they swirl
Ah,
around the fairies, they actually go
oh,
that pattern,
I
in a
see.
circular pattern. So-
Ah,
And they were all
because
holding hands. They were all holding
yeah.
hands in my photo. It was so cool.
Oh,
I'll show it to you
okay.
sometime.
Yeah, you gotta send it to me sometimes and let me know when you want me to show it on the show. And I will, you know.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Uh, okay. All right, so that's great. And Tim, closing remarks.
Another wonderful show. Seems like we be cut too soon sometime, but we have to stay on point. And thank you all so much, viewers, for joining us and opening your minds and taking this journey with us.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I certainly enjoyed it so much, and you cannot learn if you don't have an open mind.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to believe. We're not asking you to believe. We're not telling you that. I mean, I meant to say, we're not telling you to believe. We are asking you, do you believe? So that's a
Right.
difference because some people believe and some people don't. So, and we're only interested in those audience viewers that like to the curiosity to dive into these type subjects. We're not forcing a subject on anyone because there is too much knowledge in the world to just be closed mind
Yeah.
and focus on what you already know. Because if you live on what you already know, you will not know much based on how much that knowledge it is out there, right?
Yeah.
Those are my closing remarks. Kathy, your closing remarks.
Yeah. I mean, everyone has a right to their own opinion, but it's such a beautiful world to be able to tap into this. And I think a lot of things that we know are better than what we don't know because when you unravel mysteries, sometimes you find blessings in the mystery. So.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's a great note to end on. Well, that's our time, y'all. Don't forget tomorrow night we got Pearls Politics. Friday night we got the Emily Pearls show. So y'all come back and be with us tomorrow night, okay?
Yep.
All right, that's our time. Bye. Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Good night.
We love you. Don't forget.